All I'm getting is a
Yay!
Here we go! Tuesday. I'm so happy it's Tuesday. I'm so happy it's Tuesday. Turn around. Tuesday. 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 Today is Tuesday.
Is there anything else that either one of you would like to add?
Yeah.
Oh, top of the morning to everyone. Oh, my goodness. Where did you dig that up at?
I really dug for that one. I dug.
Yeah,
Sesame
really
Street
deep.
or
I know it's 12 steps below Sesame Street. Anything you want to add to it?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Timmy, I see there's plenty of green out here this morning. It's a dang good thing. First off, it's St. Patrick's Day, the Day of the Irish. To all of those who are Irish or Irish descendants, happy St. Patrick's Day. So they don't like that. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
To those who help the Irish celebrate with a pint or a quart of whatever you like, same goes. To the pretend Irish, all mind your P's and Q's and try again next year. Do you know what P's and Q's are, my little lassie, by the way?
Part of the alphabet.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You know. No, but why don't you know?
Oh, I know what they
You're
are.
wearing what are P's and Q's?
P's and Q's.
Don't look
Yeah.
down when you
Mind
say
your
that.
They ain't there.
Oh, you started it
You
talking
are
about
not-
my shamrock.
Well,
the P's and Q's are not there. So
she might have
What-
one in her britches back there somewhere.
yeah,
Oh,
what are your P's?
In her
You
like
might-
Tiny Dale used to
you
have
It's
one.
better
mine.
not have a Q. A P
It's
would be-
Yeah.
mind your manners and watch your behavior.
No, yeah.
Pints and quarts.
Oh, well, oh,
Yeah.
I even gave you the hint when I first said it. Mind your P's and Q's, y'all.
That's
The
what it is.
Irish.
oh, well, we're talking Irish. Okay.
Well, that's where it comes from anyway. And then somebody said, well, mind your P's and Q's. So it's like mind your manners.
Yeah.
But started with the Irish.
Sit down.
Well, we dodged a bullet overnight and yesterday.
We certainly
For the
did.
safety of government employees, students, school staffs, and a significant number of local business staffers. A lot of places shuttered their doors yesterday beginning about noon.
Yeah.
Today, no doubt, the Monday morning Karens are complaining about taking that action. To the folks who decided to
Why?
do what was best, just in case, remember, those who are complaining today would have complained had you stayed open and something tragic happened to even one school kid. To paraphrase a man who once said, you can please some of the people some of the time, but you'll never please all of the people all of the time. Goes along with what an engineer used to tell me. We can make things foolproof, but we can't make them damn foolproof because the world is chock full of fools.
Yes.
We got some winds in the immediate area yesterday. Different spots got different amounts of rain. We got it all over Onslow County, varying amounts. And we received a lot of warnings on our weather radios.
Yes.
I have two in stereo, and they were going off to the left of me and going off to the right of me. And I was able to keep an eye on the radar images, and I felt pretty good, pretty safe. It was just what they said was going to happen, and we did fine. We did very well. Hopefully, none of you experienced much more than we did here at the studio. If you have a story to share about the weather, please ring our bells, or in our case, flash our strobes. 910-333-0139 is today's lucky number. Special just for you for today only. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown. And at Live and Local Real Talk, confusion is our most important product.
Yeah.
Lee.
Oh, did you introduce yourself?
I did not, but the donkey man is in the house. And we are wearing, I was going to get pinched this morning, let Lee pinch me. But,
She was not
I
in the
was
mood.
reminded, yes, she
No, I
was.
was fine. I was just thinking, I hope nobody even tries to pinch me.
But I was
today.
reminded this morning, you need to wear green. It's
Yeah,
okay.
well, very good. Excellent reminder.
I'll
And
work
good
on it.
morning. I am Lee Barrows.
And Donkey Man is
Donkey Man's in the
Yes.
house.
Mr. Thomas.
We're ready to
Thomas.
rock.
Ooh, not quite. I'm getting there.
Oh, you already there.
I'm getting to Mr. Timmy now. We hired a 23-year-old kid.
They call you Mr. Timmy.
And
Mr.
the first
Timmy.
thing he walked through there was Miss, and on my shirt it says Pops because I'm the oldest dog there.
Uh-huh.
So everybody calls me Pops. And he walked in there. He said, "Well, good morning, Mr. Pops." And I went, "What?"
It's hard to hear, isn't it?
Mr.
Yeah.
Pops. And I said, "You ain't got to do that right now."
It's hard to hear that stuff.
But I'm telling y'all, folks. I mean, it gives. I'm going to say this right here, but he's not listening. They probably none of them listen. This kid's 23 years old.
He's not
No.
awake yet.
Well,
No, he's not. But they had misgivings about it, but they hired this guy. He was
sure hope
rebuilding
he's not
the
listening.
cylinders for people if their cylinder on a hydraulic cylinder, if it goes bad.
Uh-huh.
We have my boss man bought an expensive $250,000 cylinder rebuilding machine.
You better get a lot of cylinders to
And
rebuild.
Hawks it's running. And they've been so overwhelmed by it. They hired this kid. He could do it. Said he could do it. And they brought him in there, and a 23-year-old kid. In 2 weeks' time, they had all these cylinders lined up. In 2 weeks, he's called up, and the only thing he has trouble with is waiting on parts.
Oh,
That's it.
well,
William.
that is a
But
problem. I don't care.
But he had never worked on a machine like this.
You're
Yeah.
going to be waiting for
We're
it.
waiting on, but he
Especially
never.
if they send it through the mail.
Yeah, he never worked on
Right?
a machine like this before, and he got
pick on
into
the
it.
mailman.
I get everybody.
And
That's
Yeah.
my job.
When you get a kid this young that is this energetic, you don't see that.
No.
It's
Not
awesome.
And I looked, I walked through the shop the other Friday, and he's over there working on this pump. I said, "Boy, you ain't got no cylinders to rebuild?" "No, sir, Mr. Pops. I've called up, and I figured I'd work on this old pump. It's been sitting out there in the yard for God knows how long. Got it running."
Really?
Wow.
Working.
Wow.
And I finally
Give it to
asked
him, ready to sell it.
I said, "Where'd you dig this youngin' up?" Well,
Does he
he
have any brothers?
he needs to have, but and I got the background on it. His daddy did it, and he started in his shop.
Cool.
And then I got to talk to him because I was in the 80s. I was a millwright for Weyerhaeuser, and we had to rebuild our own cylinders. And I was telling him about mine. He said, "Yes, sir." He said, "My daddy had a 4-foot pipe wrench, and he had a piece of 8-foot pump pipe, and that's how we broke them loose." And I said, "Boy, you got it now." But now I'm telling you, his name is Tanner, and he is really got it going on. And I said, "I don't know how much you're getting, boy, but it ain't enough."
We had a guy over the weekend, and I met him over the radio here before, not this radio, the ham radio, and he used to work for Weyerhaeuser, and he was in HR. Finally, they in HR they had him in the floor, and they had him everywhere else, and he worked up in Plymouth. He worked down, and then he came to Jacksonville regularly to be the HR dude.
Okay,
Down
I
here.
probably know him.
Same as Ed.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not it. It's not it. Give me, God, come on. I'll tell you, James.
Oh my
I
goodness.
knew about 4 Jameses.
You only
I'm
know
sure you
Ed.
do.
Oh,
Yeah, I get it. I went to
3 of them
visit
were
Ed
9
yesterday.
mile. But yeah.
I went to visit Ed yesterday, and he happens to know my next door neighbors. He said he came to this house when he was 12 years old, and he's my age.
isn't it crazy?
He is, and I don't remember this. I'm sure it's true because I don't know of anybody else who would have done it but me, and I did it, I'm sure. I just don't remember him at the time. You know what electrolytic capacitors are? They're little capacitors.
Sure, I do.
And you charge them. They're used in various electronic circuits. Okay, but and they store electricity. One version of them, especially the electrolytic capacitors. And what I used to do. I used to put the 2 leads on a little electrolytic capacitor across something with some high voltage on it, and it charged it up. You bend those leads back down, one over either side with a pair of pliers that don't conduct electricity into your hands, and then, hey, catch.
Right.
Zip. It's a real quick zip.
Like the little condenser inside the point.
How did we get here?
I'm going to tell you why. Because Ed said that when he came down here, he watched us in the fallout shelter. I took him in there with my next door neighbors because he was friends with them, and to show him some. And I charged up capacitors, and I kept the lead straight.
Right.
And I was discharging him into the spiders around. And I was frying spiders with electrolytic capacitors.
That sounds like you.
That's what I said. It did, but I just don't remember him being there when I did it. Anyway, whatever.
See?
Okay, you spider freaks. It's expired.
Yes, it has.
And this.
What was a little condenser used to be in the
They can be various
the cab.
sizes, yes.
You had points and plug when you had
Oh,
points
yes, that's
in
the one.
cars.
Same
They did
thing.
that same thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Kenny
They
Thomas
call-
was
they
the world's
call them
worst over that.
Condensers that they're generally, we call them capacitors in
Yeah.
the electronics world. But
He would charge one of those things up and throw it at you.
Last week, and you did a
no,
traveling library of music because he was going to
Yeah.
Washington. Well, he's in Washington, and he
is he in
says,
jail?
he says, Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
He's in Ocean Shores, Washington, right? Remember, he was going to go visit his mother.
Yep. All the way
So
across,
Kyle-
all across the
Gosh.
all across
It's
the-
early in Washington right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. What's that, Mountain Time
That's Pacific time.
or Pacific?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Good
3
morning.
hours.
Kyle, get your coffee. Wow.
Well, sometimes when you live a time zone like this, I did it when I went to Las Vegas. I mean, at 7:00 in the morning when we were going on the air here,
Right.
it was 4:00 there, and I
Right,
was signing
right.
on so I could go on the air from there. Oh,
Kyle says the trip here is creating amazing experiences that will be forever memories. Held you all with our road trip playlist music during our travel time yesterday from Olympia to the beach, and the coffee is on. So he had our playlist.
Well, that's good.
Way to
I'm
go.
going to guess that he, the memories that he created. Did you get any signatures on any pink pieces of paper and handed to you along
Yeah.
the way?
Mm.
He knows what I'm talking about. You
Mhm.
should, because I'm sure you had your share.
Yeah.
Now, this gentleman that does all the work there in your shop.
Yeah.
Does he know anything about front ends on lawnmowers?
I don't know.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And how to
Yes.
put them back together.
I know who does.
Who?
Howard and Tail.
He's right there at Gumbridge Roads,
Yeah,
Jim.
at the corner of Union Chapel. and-
Union Chapel.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Howard
You're right.
can. There's a guy named Dudley Thompson that probably can.
Well, I need to get that information then from me, but I was thinking about her with her collision over the weekend.
I have roll bars on my mower.
They're
I'm
not
good.
roll bars.
Oh, now.
They weren't like roll bars on
She
Saturday.
rolled right
Grill guard.
She rolled right smack dab into a fence.
Hit the fence.
I still have to go get some new slats. I didn't do it
See?
yesterday. It was raining. I was like,
Whatever.
I like to give a shout out to a Onslow County Sheriff's deputy.
go right ahead.
His name is Deputy Winslow.
Okay.
I got pulled one morning last week
By him?
By him. And I wasn't paying attention. I was on my way to work. It was real early in the morning
You
because
did,
I had to
you
go
did
to South
stop for
Carolina.
those blue lights over.
Plus, trust me, I stopped. And he walked up to me, says, and he looked 16 years old.
Yeah, they all do.
I said, my God. I rolled down the window. Said, boy, I got socks older than you. And he said, I noticed your license plate light's not working. He said, and when I met you, you were exceeding speed. He said, do you know how fast you were going? I said, I really don't. He told me. And I said, well, I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention to it. I said, I got past that idiot that turned into the airport. He said, I saw that. He said, because he said, I was actually sitting where you pulled. He said, I pulled out. And he said, and he told me how fast I was running.
How fast were you running?
68.
And a 55
and
or
a
45?
And I said, boy, I know you can carry me to jail. I said, and I deserve every bit of it.
What
And
you
he-
serving for breakfast?
I said, and the first thing I did when he rolled down the window, I said, before we get started, I got a 38 in the console. He said, you got concealed carry? Yeah. And I showed it to him.
He said, "We'll leave it there."
He said, can I see it? I said, if you get it out. I said, but I ain't touching it. He grinned. He grinned. He said, no, I don't need to see it. And when he got done, and he wrote me a warning, he said, I see you going to work and stuff like that. Because he asked me, where you headed? Going down there. And where you going? I got to go to South Carolina. And I gave him the full story. And when I got done, he got done handing me my warning back and my license and stuff. And I said, well, I'm going to tell your boss how great a job you done. I said, you are so professional. I said, but you do look 16 years old. And he's laughing. And he said, my boss man? I said, yeah. I said, did you look on the license real good? And he says, well, yes, sir. I said, well, Chris is my cousin, but I wasn't going to tell you that until after.
Yeah.
And I said, because it don't matter. I said, it don't matter. I mean, you're doing your job. And he did his job. And he went back there and checked my light and come back. He said, your light is actually working, but it was a little bit muddy. And he said it didn't look like it was working. But I said, he's fantastic deputy, y'all. And I just want to say, he slowed me down. Because I've been checking it ever since, and I will go about 60 down there, but I have not been past 60 since.
Don't plan on going 60. If you creep up to 60, that's one thing.
Yeah.
If you plan on going 60, you're going to creep up to 66.
Well, I have a cruise, and I hit it.
Yeah.
I do hit it. I don't like mashing that gas pedal. I really don't. But no, I want to have my hats off to Deputy Winslow for slowing this old man down.
You've done good.
I do. I appreciate you, and I really hope you go far.
I would have towed his car. That's okay, you know.
I think about you when I see him.
I known who he was.
Well, while we're talking about community, I do want to throw out something for our Cardinal family. Keith and Yvonne. Yvonne was taken ill, and she's in the hospital right now in Green. And our prayers are with you and with the family. And let us know if you need anything.
Hurry up and get out of there.
Yeah,
That place is for
some
sick
of our
people.
favorite Cardinal people there.
Yeah, that place is for sick people. Get over it and let's come on
So
home.
get well, Yvonne.
Yeah, please. But speaking of sheriffs, finally, are you ready? Finally, a sheriff who tells a judge, no, thank you.
Yeah.
The sheriff
They can.
who tells the judge, words to that effect, when the judge ordered a convicted violent criminal, he had been convicted, and he was back in the jailhouse, to be released from the county jail with a cute little bracelet adorning his ankle. The Las Vegas sheriff, who's a powerful guy, refused to release a repeat offender with 35 arrests, despite a judge's order, sparking a legal showdown now headed to the Nevada Supreme Court. This is going to be a first, y'all, to see just who is better qualified to decide if an inmate is too dangerous to leave jail. The dispute began after Las Vegas Justice Court Judge Eric Goodman, you're going to find out that's probably a bad name, ordered Joshua Sanchez Lopez released on electronic monitoring. But law enforcement officials declined to release Sanchez Lopez, arguing, we got him, you can't get him, arguing his criminal history makes him too dangerous to supervise in the community. The ankle bracelet is a cute idea, but for hardened criminals, it requires law enforcement to track the guy's every movement, and when he ventures off course, to then track him down. That takes up manpower.
Yeah.
Sanchez Lopez, who's 36, is a felon whose record includes 35 arrests and prior prison time for drugs and involuntary manslaughter. Police say his past behavior raises serious concerns. And one 2020 arrest, you ready? Sanchez Lopez ran from officers while armed with a gun, later posting on Snapchat showing his ankle bracelet and saying he got chased again.
Oh my gosh.
Felon with a gun. And libtards who support bad guys not having to stay in jail, this one's for you. The sheriff's office believes it should have the final say on whether someone can be placed in the electronic monitoring program. I'll agree. You're in charge of the jail. You got to release them because some puny-butted judge says to release them with a little cute bracelet around them that they're going to take off. They will remove it at some point in time. And then they have to chase him down. I got you. I don't want to have to catch you again. Why should I have to go catch you again? Because some dimwit judge do it? Judges don't have to go round up these thugs. They don't have to chase them down. They don't have to hopefully not get shot. If a judge wants to turn them loose on society, then it should be up to the judge personally to be held accountable when they break bad. If cops have to be held accountable for their actions or misdeeds, maybe it's time that the immunity granted judges be eliminated. Can you imagine how nice and tough judges would actually be if they did not have that immunity protection? They do. They should. Their actions, they should be held accountable for their actions. If they recklessly and knowingly make it easy for a violent criminal to be released from custody and that inmate commits additional crimes, then maybe the judicial officials should be investigated and charged with criminal activity themselves. See you in jail. You can have adjoining cells.
See ya.
The same cell.
Like we used to say, give him 21-10. That's 21 meals on a 10 plate a week.
There you go. Your marine weather outlook, courtesy of the beautiful deep blue Atlantic Ocean. Today offshore out to 20 nautical miles. Northwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, gust up to 25. Becoming westerly 10 to 15 this afternoon. Seas 5 to 7 feet. Near shore, seas 4 to 6, subsiding to 2 to 4 in the afternoon. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop in the afternoon tomorrow. Northerly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming northeasterly 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 5, 9 seconds apart. Nice. And 2 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. And on Thursday, that's Friday Eve, northerly winds around 10 knots, seas 3 to 5 at 9 second intervals, 2 to 3 feet near shore. Sounds and rivers a light chop.
Today, sunny with highs per hour with gusts as high as 16. Tonight, clear with a low around 26. Wednesday, increasing clouds with a high near 51. Wednesday night, cloudy, then gradually becoming partly cloudy with a low around 30. Thursday, sunny with a high near 62.
Yeah.
For our friends in the area, our amateur radio buddies out there, Randy on his golf cart this morning, he said the seats were a little chilly to begin with. 37 degrees, 72% humidity, northwesterly winds at 2 miles per hour. It's clear, 1.13 inches of rainfall. Lee and Back Swamp. I think the swamp overflowed or something. 37 degrees, 59% humidity, northwesterly winds at 6. Winds are all over the place there. Yesterday, he had a sustained wind for about 5 minutes of 33 miles per hour. This morning, it's northwesterly at 6 miles per hour. Barometric pressure, 29.83 inches of mercury. His rainfall, 2.13 inches.
Flooded.
The swamp overflowed into his rain gauge, I think.
What's going on?
Carol and Dale over there in Riverbend, it was 36 degrees about 45 minutes ago, 71% humidity, 1.12 inches of rain. Joe walking out there in the borough this morning, walking the streets of Swansboro, 44 degrees, 65% humidity, 29.73 inches of mercury, northeasterly winds at 2. 64 100ths of an inch of rain, 0.64 inches of rain. That's about 2/3 of an inch. Brian, also in the borough, 36 degrees, right across town from downtown Swansboro, where all the pavement and stuff is, to one of the little areas right outside there. It's 44 degrees in downtown, 36 degrees out there in the other area, 72% humidity, 29.66 inches of mercury, calm, no wind. And Cedar Point, Ward this morning across the creek there, the White Oak River, 40 degrees, 60% humidity, 30.01 inches of mercury, northeasterly winds at 10 to 12, and 0.30 inches of rain. Onslow Bay, Ken had 39.6 degrees. He got real particular this morning, and 50% humidity. And Woodlands, Lee reported 38 degrees, 71% humidity, 29.93 inches of mercury. And it was rising southeasterly to easterly winds at 2 to 3.83 inches of rain. It was kind of spotty across the county.
Yeah.
Here in the studio, in the country club area, 37 degrees, 70% humidity, 29.82 inches of mercury, westerly winds at 2 miles per hour then, and they're 4 miles per hour now, and we're having peaks of up to 7 miles per hour, 0.29 inches of rain. James over there in Bladen County, he checked in this morning, 39 degrees and cloudy. Michael, who was in up in Virginia, a place called Crew, Virginia, right outside Jetersville, which I'd never heard of either one of them, was 33 degrees. He was on his way to work. So
Jetersville?
Jetersville.
I think it's
Jeter, Jeter.
Yeah, spell what it
Jeters.
says. I've seen the
Yes,
sign for it.
Oh, Jeters.
I've never heard of it.
I've
I've never heard of it.
So
No.
there's probably 4 or
He's
5
seen
other
a sign.
places. Probably 4 or 5 other places in the
I've seen
country
a
I've never heard of. But anyway, that's one of them.
Mm.
You guys, if you want to chime in this morning, feel free. We got Randy. We got Randy here. We just left Randy. We got Timmy here, the donkey man. He trims donkeys' hooves and
Yes,
their tails and whatever
I got
else.
the evidence of it right
Yeah,
here
there
from
you-
Saturday.
Would you get kicked?
Yeah, scuff, kick, you name it, it happens. But I got old man skin anyway. And,
No, I
and
understand
yesterday, that was from the storm working
That's
over on
from a
South
lawnmower
Front. You know how
accident.
South Front Street is. And I was
Yeah.
just happened to be in it when one of the storms come through.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
And I slipped and fell. And
Did you?
yeah, oh yeah, out there. They're redoing some track on South Front Street.
They're always redoing something over there.
It's a mess.
They have
And-
for 40 years.
And every time, and I pick on the project managers. Our project managers where I work at, they're great people, but every time it rains, they want something moved. So we're working in the rain.
Oh my gosh.
And we need this moved over here, need this moved over here, and I'm doing it, and it become a frog strangler, folks. And I slipped and fell in that old mud and trying to get that thing, it was an off-road haul truck's what it's called. And it's big. It's not that heavy. It weighs about 45,000 pounds, but it's
That's
big.
kind of heavy.
All right, yeah, to some people.
Needs to
It's-
take a nap. Get on it.
but I did get it moved. But yeah, I slipped and fell, and I looked, and the project manager come out there and says, "Oh, you're bleeding." I said, "Hey, in Kentucky, you're bleeding." I said, "Oh, I don't doubt it." I said,
What color is it?
but he tried to help me.
If you were over Riceville Beach, it would have been Blue Bloods.
God knows. I try not to get on Riceville Beach. I mean, Carolina Beach Road is bad enough from the end of Front Street to
Uh-huh.
Shipyard Boulevard.
Then
Then they got a
But,
bridge over
on
Riceville Beach.
Facebook.
oh yeah, and then the Cape
Summertime.
Fear, and but people love to have wrecks, especially over on the Cape Fear River Bridge,
Oh, yeah.
the lift bridge, and of course, every time it rains, there's a wreck over there.
They used to just raise the bridge and push them off.
They need to. They need to
One
block
ended
them.
up there one morning.
What?
It
What?
did years ago. I'll give you that one in a minute. But yeah, you. If anybody's got any questions, you want to talk to Timmy about. You got donkeys, or maybe you'd like to rent a donkey or buy a donkey or have a donkey. Maybe you got coyote issues. Is it true that donkeys will help control the coyote issues
Yes.
in your neighborhood?
A lot of times it's just like where I live at, people they'll look like we hadn't seen it. I got one bunch of neighbors that said, we hadn't seen any coyotes. You go further down in the river bluff, they say, we've seen coyotes, and the ones right there close to my pastures, we don't see coyotes. I said, you won't.
It's because Theo
I
runs
said,
them away.
They'll smell a donkey and stay away. I have the last thing that my donkeys have ever exterminated was a fox.
Oh, really?
Got into the pen, and I looked, and Theo Jr. he had killed him, and here's what donkeys like to do: they like to pick them up and trot them.
Look
and
what
that's-
I do.
And yeah, exactly. Around hollering,
That's just like
and and I looked out the window, and there was I go out there, and he brings him right to me, and I go
see
get
what I
rid
did
of
that.
him.
See what I did.
Yeah,
see what I did. That.
Look what I got.
Yeah, go show senior. Go
And
show
poor little, he's just looking at him like he's an idiot. But now donkeys will do it, llamas will do it, and a lot of times mules will do it. They'll get that donkey trait where they'll protect. And I have a lot of people got pet goats, and they got miniature donkeys, and they wind up loving the donkeys better than they do the goats, because the more love you give a donkey, the more love they want. And I'm serious,
What a
they're real
miniature
affectionate.
They'll be sleeping with you shortly.
They would, They would. I mean, I had a lady
Right up there on the bed.
I had a miniature mule named Seymour one time.
See less.
CS. And I named him after W.C. Jarman.
Oh, did you?
my
That was
gosh.
one of W.C. Jarman's nicknames when he was growing up. Daddy named him Seymour. And I asked Daddy one time,
Why?
yeah, why? And he said, well, we all worked together.
I wish I knew
farm.
this years ago.
And he said he come out there in his old raggedy overalls and stuff like that. And Daddy called him Seymour. And he said, why? He said, I see more honey than I see anything else. So they called him Seymour. And so when this donkey was born, WC went down there after it was not donkey, it was a miniature mule. Second one I ever had born. And WC loved it. And I looked right at him, so I'm going to name him after you. So I named him Seymour. But
Seymour and Theo. Who
Yeah.
else have you named dogs?
Oh
after?
God,
Anybody in
I named
particular?
one after W.C. Jarman's mother,
Oh boy.
Pearl.
What?
Her name was Pearl,
Pearl fits.
and
That's
the night she was born, I had a dream about Miss Pearl, and Miss
I had
Pearl
a
would
dream.
sit on the front porch and shell
Uh-huh.
butter beans and peas, and I had a dream about Miss Pearl that night. And the next morning, I get up and
Why did you name the
Mhm.
donkey Butterbean?
butter bean. No, I
mean,
just
there was.
I
they
thought
live
about
on
that,
what
but I like the
did.
name.
I like that.
I like the
Butterbean.
well,
What did Dale Evans name her horse?
buttermilk.
Yeah. So Butterbean fits right in there.
It does. I like that.
Well, I like to name my donkeys and mules. I like to name them human names.
Oh,
I really do. So, I named her Pearl, and I've got just like the Appaloosa I have now. Makes people mad. I named him Ugly, because now he's so ugly. If you came to the beach, the tide will never come in while he's there. I'm telling you, he's ugly.
Be
One
low tide
ugly.
forever.
He is one ugly thing to me. And people say, "Oh, he's beautiful." I said, "Y'all need to go get your eyes checked." So he's got about 4 or 5 different names. But now get back to Seymour. He would get out of the pen. There was a lady that lived over in River Bluff, and he would walk to her house and lay down on her back porch. And I would have to go get him. And
So he just didn't want to come home.
No, he loved this lady. This
Okay.
lady would go every day
She
and
fed
give
him.
him treats
Yeah,
and love
see,
on
gotta do
him. And if she didn't show up at 5:00, at 5:10, I've had my other neighbor tell me, he said, set your watch by him. If she don't show up at 5:00, at 5:10, he's out of the pen, and he walks right over there to her house and would lay down on her back porch.
So you're saying the pen was just a
That's
suggestion?
all it was.
Just a
to him.
suggestion.
I mean, I don't care what you did. He could get out if he wanted to. And I don't have him anymore. I sold him. Wound up selling him. But the lady got ready to move, and she wanted him. And I said, you got to go check your deed. Well, what do you mean? I said, you probably can't have livestock where you're at. She went and checked, and the lady was in tears. Because I told her, I
Then
said, if
move
you
somewhere
move
else.
somewhere and you can get, I will give you this mule. And she couldn't. And she pure cried over it. But she would come by and see him once in a while. Like I said, I finally sold him. Another family came up and they wanted him. They had a fit over him because they had an autistic kid.
Oh,
And
That's
they
probably
weren't paying
perfect.
attention. And Seymour went right up to him. And every time that kid made a step, he made a step. So I sold him cheap.
yeah. Wildlife's smarter than our so-called.
But they are. Well, I had that wild Mustang I had for years. I mean, he was 35 years old when
I
he
had a
finally
Mustang.
died. Yeah,
Convertible.
Convertible. Well, this was 4-legged, not 4-wheel. But this lady had 2
I
autistic
loved my
children,
Mustang.
and I told them they wanted to come see the horses. I said, "Don't get in that pen." I said, "He's a wild Mustang. I don't think he'll hurt you." Well, I came home one night. Yeah,
is the word.
I came home one evening and looked, they're in there, and he's laying down, and they're crawling all over it.
So much for that wild.
Yeah.
Huh?
So much, but I couldn't get my hands on it.
Speaking of wild,
But it was tough.
top Iranian official Ali Lenjani and Bajaj commander Gholam Reza Soleimani. We know that name. Soleimani, Mr. Soleimani were both killed last night.
Oh,
Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz talked about it. He was targeted. He was targeted in an Israeli airstrike. Yep.
Right
They
then.
went after him. Well, they got some others while they were at it, some bonus points. Multiple Bajij figures were targeted in an effort involving the United States and Israel. Over a dozen officials targeted and killed, along with this high-ranking guy. That's, folks, y'all gonna run out of top dogs if people even want to be your top dogs in a little while.
Yeah, I don't want
Give the ball to Leroy is going to say, Leroy don't want that ball.
Might need to do that to the drug cartel.
The killings come more than 2 weeks into the war effort against the Islamic Republic being waged by the United States and Israel. What is it going to take to get their attention? I mean, it's awful. We've lost 8 people, so we lost 6 in a plane crash.
I think the
And
last
then
time
we
I
lost
read it was
6 others.
10 total now.
So it's probably 12 because we had lost 6, and then we lost 6 in the plane crash. So it's 10 or 12 of our guys have been killed. That's all. Every one of them is a
See if
waste.
I
It's a
can-
waste. It's terrible. It's terrible. I cannot imagine how many hundreds of Israeli top leaders like this. My God, they got a dozen in one strike, plus a top guy. I just cannot envision what they're going through. They had reports yesterday of some of the craters left by either Israel or Israeli or U.S. planes.
Right.
The where they went in and the big holes that were left there. Indians were dancing around them, cheering us on. They're tired of it, people. What we need to do probably is do exactly like we did in World War II. We had manufactured some 45 caliber single shot pistols, and we provided 2 bullets. They were made out of hot metal. They cost the government $17 each. We airdropped them in with instructions on how to use them for the French resistance. And anybody that runs across a Nazi soldier, here are 2 rounds, 2 45 caliber rounds. And these cheap pistols, they were called the Liberators, nicknamed the Liberators. Just single shots, throwaways.
Wow.
Probably extremely valuable if you could get your hands on one today. But we airdropped them in to the French, and they were taking out Germans left and right. When you have a peasant lady walking up to you and you're a German or whatever, and bang, you're dead. Whoops. Didn't see that one coming. Maybe we should be doing the same thing. We limit the amount of ammo that we give them because we don't want it coming back on us.
Right.
But the little things like that, those pistols are cheap. They're pot metal. They probably fire only 2 rounds total before they quit working. But whatever.
As long as you aim right, that's all you need.
Point blank, up close and personal. Looking at yesterday's headlines, Iran and its proxies carried out attacks against the Middle East on Monday. Iran and its proxies carried out attacks yesterday, striking Israel with ballistic missiles, hitting a high-profile hotel in Baghdad with a drone and causing major flight disruptions at Dubai International Airport. International terrorism led by a rogue nation of devils.
But I thought they were canceling flights in and out of Dubai. That's what they said last week.
That's what they have done now.
Yeah, but now they had flights that they were trying to get in that were circling last night. Like, why?
Given the inattention our elected half-wits are showing, you'd think they were on the Iranian government's payroll. What did I just say? What our people that we elected, what the kind of lack of attention that they're giving this whole deal, you'd think they were on the Iranian government's payroll. Our government is not paying those we hire to run this country. The elected Dumkovs don't run it. They don't sweep the floors. They don't provide security at the airports so that we and they can board planes without fear of armed thugs being on board. They don't patrol the border or the oceans to keep terrorists and smugglers from continuing to invade this country. What exactly do they do? What exactly do the 435 elected congressmen and 100 elected senators do for their money? I want an answer. If Rip Van Winkle woke up after 20 years sleeping today, what would he think when he reads today's headlines? To a reasonable person, it would certainly seem like those who can't even agree on the simplest of issues would, in the very least, pay to keep all of us safe. But they don't. They cut off the pay to Homeland Security. They've cut them off. They don't want them to get paid. Therefore, they don't want ICE working. They don't want, who else works for the Homeland Security? The Coast Guard.
Mhm.
The Coast Guard. TSA. They're cutting back on the airports. The airlines are screaming and hollering. You're cutting out flights. They're not even flying. They cannot fly because they can't get passengers through the TSA lines. Do your part, Mr.
What
Congressman,
is
and
it?
all you senators. If you can't do the jobs we hired you to do, then at least take care of the task that you should be, like cleaning your own toilets in the Capitol, the White House, wherever. Let the occupants of these locations clean up their own mess, serve their own food, cook their own food. I don't care if they get perfectly prepared meals. I don't care. Visit your nearest supermarket on a break and buy some bread, ham, cheese, and mayo. You're not too good that you can't fix your own sandwich. You expect the planes you take on vacations to be safe. You take turns at the inspection stations for a while then. Y'all just break it up. Half of the senators today and half of the congressmen tomorrow, y'all are working airport security details. You get to go through all of the luggage. You get to go through all of this stuff and inspect it to make sure those planes are safe. And then you put one of your family members on that plane. I guarantee you, you will inspect everything that goes onto that plane very closely, won't you? That's the way you do it. I am tired of them thinking they're going to hold each other hostage until they get things done the way they want them. I'm fed up. Adolf Hitler did the same thing that Iran's doing. Smoke screens. You've heard me talk about smoke screens. The southern border invasion, two purposes: keep the ICE cops too busy to stop smugglers and keep ICE cops too busy to stop illegals from settling throughout the United States. Why aren't we allowing that? Why have we allowed the 18 million to come into this country unchecked, unfettered, and go wherever they want? No, yes, we have these courts, but no, we don't. That's a farce. And you liberal people out there who think it actually will work or could work, how? They didn't have enough to deal with the few that we control when they came into the country. Now we got 18 million that are just running willy-nilly here, there, and everywhere. And we're trying to round them up. Rounding up 1,000 a day and deporting them. We can't ever get them called up
Right.
because they're producing babies, y'all.
Right.
Let's go back to TSA for a minute. You were talking about the wait lines in the airports. Over the weekend, Austin, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
The lines were so long, they were out the building door into the parking lot, waiting to get into the building to check in. That's how long the lines were. Right now, they're advising you, most airports, to be there 2 to 3 hours early.
Yeah, they're supposed to be at least an hour if you're international, 2 hours. And if you're realistic, you better be there yesterday.
Yep.
If I can't
Or rent a car.
If I can't drive there, I ain't going.
If it's in the United States, I right at this point in time, I'm going to drive. If I had to get to the West Coast, I may take a look-see, but I also know people with airplanes.
Yeah, I'd rather drive.
It's, but I just don't get our lawmakers thinking it's okay not to pay these people.
To play with our future, our safety. They're impacting us.
Then that's exactly too what's going to happen, Rayford. We're going to have an air catastrophe.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of people who lose their lives. And you know what? I put their blood on the hands of our lawmakers.
Do not think those idiot terrorists are sitting back saying they're falling into our hands and doing exactly what we want them to do. Create hate and discontent amongst the populace. And then they won't get aboard these airplanes and they're not going to be totally protected. And we're going to have a man on board.
Wait, I saved this last
We're
night.
going to have a suicidal terrorist on board that airplane.
I think if they ever could,
see.
if they cut the money off like that for essentials, I think they should have their own paychecks cut off.
Oh yes, well, and never get it back.
And don't get it back.
Don't pay them after they reopen the country.
Right.
They've lost their pay. They haven't done their job, so they lose their pay.
Mm-hmm.
It says, you work for pay, right? We don't pay you to play. We don't pay you not to work. So
you got people up there like Adam Schiff who sit up there and they fuss and fuss. And I'm not a Bill Maher fan, but I did watch that segment where he was talking to him about, and he was saying, "Oh, that's too vague. The president shouldn't be able to order bomb strikes and this and that." And so Bill Maher read something off to him, and he said, "Do you think that's too vague?" He said, "I really do." He said, "Well, that was Obama."
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And Adam Schiff just shut right up.
Yeah, Obama.
Obama did that.
They've all done it at one time.
Yeah,
Jimmy Carter did it.
Jimmy Carter
that
did it.
weak-minded liberal Looney Tune, he did it.
And peanut farmer.
Oh, peanut head.
He had too much peanut butter in his brain.
Well, you're talking about airlines, and it made me. I saved this last night. It was on X, and Wall Street Journal had posted a passenger on Spirit Airlines catches the company duct taping their plane together and asks for their money back. And said, I believe this is actually speed tape, a temporary fix for aircrafts for non-critical fixes. But the comments were funny.
Mm-hmm.
But they said that this airline had just filed bankruptcy. And I know there is like a 3M tape. I've seen them put it on race cars, when they're all wrecked and they tape them back together.
When the race car quits running, they just coast to the side.
But the thing about it is, Rayford, how would you feel sitting on a plane looking out the window and they're taping the plane? There's a crack in the wing.
Hold that door.
Yeah.
Hold the door. Hold the door.
And there was a lot of comments, people saying, I'm off. Get me off the plane. I want my money back. I'm not flying on it. I think I would have to be first off.
These people that are coming into the country have already made it here, and we've already proven this. Look at Minnesota. But there are people that are coming into this country. They're going helter-skelter everywhere.
Yeah.
That's just to confuse the guys that are trying to round them up. But they are going to assimilate. They're going to assimilate in locales, but they're not going to assimilate into the United States. They're going to create their own little nest, and that's what they are. Mm-hmm. They are a nest of individuals. And then these people are going to vote for the city council. They're going to vote for the county commissions. They're going to put their own people in place. Then they're going to vote for a congressman. Eventually, they'll work up to senator and maybe governor. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, once they get a congressman in from that district and maybe a senator from the state, one senator represents half the state, right? In effect, they represent the whole state, but there's two of them per state. But if they can get one senator up there, that will be 1%. And if you got 15 or 20 of these groups electing a senator from 15 states, that's enough to swing anything you've got going in this country. If I could pick 15 senators of my choosing, I could rule the country. Could you not think so? Mathematically, it would be easy, would it not? Because they won't be taking their orders from headquarters. They won't be taking them from anything in the United States. That's the way it's going to go. Charlie asked yesterday, where do I see us in 50 years? And I told him, a little bit of thought.
Yeah. Probably.
We'll try to be speaking Chinese. We probably won't be able to ever learn it. We'll be the sheep.
Fried rice.
Fried rice. We will not be able to. We will be ordered to do exactly what they tell us to do. The government of China is the Chinese Communist people. Chinese Communist government is what it is. That's all it is. The Chinese Communist Party runs the government.
Speaking of politics and politicians and commissioners and stuff, congratulations to our friend. He's been on the show several times. Lee Stiles was sworn in as mayor of Morehead City last night.
After half a year-long battle?
Yes. I mean, there was like a 2-vote difference, and it went to a recount, and then there was accusations of people being told they couldn't vote, which I have my theories on that. But anyway, so they went and did another vote. They put it on this last primary. So, and Lee Stiles, he won by a large margin. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
And the revote.
And a new vote. Well,
How much did that cost those poor citizens of every citizen in the county paid for it because it's county.
You got to
Board of
do what you have to
Elections.
do, unfortunately. But that's the problem with not going out and vote when you need to go out and vote. Because had
now
you gone out to vote the first time,
Now you're punching
That's
on
the way
numbers
it
here, aren't you?
is.
oh well, I've got some
I know
numbers
you
for
have,
you.
and I've been waiting for it.
Well, first of all, let's start off with we're talking about recount, et cetera, et cetera. The huge race right now between Sam Page, the sheriff of Rockingham County, and Phil Berger, who is a senator, North Carolina senator.
Some say he's been there way too long.
He'd been there a long time. Anyway, so now it's down to 23 votes. Sam Page has 23 votes.
At
Berger's
23
got
votes. Wait a minute. He's got 23 votes
over
over
right.
Okay.
Well, Berger has until a noontime today to request a recount, which that's going to happen. I mean, he'd be crazy not to do it. But right now, a lot of accusations are flying.
No, just hold on. You say it'd be crazy not to do it. Would that mean that he would be admitting that errors are being made in the counting of ballots? He's a senator. He's a senator, right? Here in North
You're
Carolina.
not saying that it's just a recount. I mean, it's a common thing that's done.
Yeah, but
And you never know where there might be some errors.
or there might be errors in the recount.
That's right. Well, recounts pretty much. I've witnessed a few of them, and they're pretty thorough. And
In other words,
it's probably
if
not
you-
going to make much difference.
So if you can't do it right the first time, do it over and over and over
Well,
again. till
you
get what
have
like.
to give them the opportunity, Rayford.
Mhm.
If you missed being the mayor by one vote, would you not want to recount?
Probably not.
Yes, you
I'd be
would.
fed up with it.
No, you would. You would say, "Yeah, you better recount those ballots."
No. Because if I found that you didn't do it right, then I would be on a campaign. I would be raising Cain if they didn't do it right
Now
the first time.
now it's getting nasty now.
I would be getting nasty if I found the recount was.
Would you stop with the
but-
negativity?
No, it's-
Recounts are
it's-
good.
No, they're not.
Yes, they
It
are.
costs money.
Everything costs money.
Well, it's not worth it.
That's part of the election
It's
system.
not worth it. Phil, take your look. You lost.
Anyway, listen. Page's campaign sent a text advertisement Sunday alerting voters to possible outreach from the Berger campaign. Phil Berger's campaign is asking voters to claim they received the wrong ballot in an effort to challenge his election defeat.
Oh.
Sounds like Morehead City. The text from the Page campaign's legal fund says, if anyone from the Berger campaign is pressuring you to sign something that isn't true, please reply to this message. The message adds a warning. Submitting a false affidavit is a felony. The Berger campaign says Page has it backwards, adding in a statement from Berger spokesman Jonathan Feltz, the highest ranking law enforcement official in one of the counties in a race, is threatening voters in an effort to stop them from coming forward. According to Feltz, someone reached out to the Berger campaign with concerns about their ballot, prompting Berger's people to look for more who might have similar concerns. He said the campaign found at least one Guilford County resident, who thinks he might have received the wrong ballot
Who
and
thinks he
wasn't-
might have received the wrong ballot. In other words, he
and
actually
wasn't able
thinks
to
he
vote in the
remembers.
Senate race despite living in the district.
Does he remember voting?
Well, this is a lot of what we heard coming out of the Morehead City stuff. And where there was voters who said, well, Lee Stiles won initially by 2 votes, I think it was. Or it might have been 1 vote, 1 or 2 votes. And the mayor then, Jerry Jones, suddenly had 3 people come to him and say, well, I tried to vote, but they said my registration was wrong and I couldn't vote and blah, blah, blah. Okay, you'll have one stop voting. They could have fixed the registration, done a provisional ballot. After everything checked out, their vote would have counted.
So the Board of Elections is screwing up everywhere. So what you're saying, you give them the opportunity here to say, well, we screwed
I didn't
up.
say it was the Board of Elections. It's
Well,
the
who did?
people who were claiming that they got the wrong ballot.
Well, the Board of Elections gave them the wrong ballot then.
Oh, we don't know that.
Well, if they claim they got the wrong ballot, if they got the wrong ballot, then it was the Board of Elections. They didn't get it. They didn't go there and pick it off the shelf.
You know, if you got the wrong ballot, right?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, okay. Voters can submit complaints in the form of an election protest, which must be submitted by 5 p.m. today.
How many times you voted in your life? A lot.
Ever since I
How
was
many
18.
times you voted? I
Can't
figured.
remember.
I've never been given the wrong ballot. Has either one of you been given the wrong ballot? In all
No.
this time? Then how would you end up with the wrong ballot?
That's my question. But see, something like this, okay, we've got
You tried to
23
get
vote
to
difference here. So they're going to do a recount, I'm sure.
Then if they find out that the wrong ballots were given out, then the entire Board of Elections should be removed.
Oh, Reverend, how can they prove that?
Well, then they just, how are you going to prove that they got the wrong ballot?
How can they prove that somebody unaffiliated went in there and asked for a Democratic ballot in lieu of a Republican ballot? But now they're saying, no, I was supposed to vote Republican.
Well, you didn't get the ballot that you asked for.
Done
Then
and
you take
over.
it back over there. If they hand me the wrong ballot, I go in there and I'm an independent. I
after
go
the
in there
fact.
and I ask for the ballot. I don't leave from there and it says, yeah, this is the ballot you asked for. No, it's not. Here.
Right.
Give me what I want.
That's at the time I voted, but I'm saying after the fact.
Well, then that's just too freaking late.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
You are
Anyway,
now pregnant. What you going to do about it?
let's.
That's a good way.
So what happens when you don't take that
Yeah, yeah.
Oh God, you men.
No,
Okay.
I'm a realist.
All right, we're going to talk about the election results from March 3rd, the primary. All right.
I thought that was over.
We're going to talk about the 9 counties that are in the 3rd district. This is what I
the third
researched.
congressional district.
3rd congressional district. The new 3rd congressional district.
Well, we're still
Anyway.
in it. We're still old.
We're going to talk about Republicans who showed up and Democrats who showed up.
Okay.
Okay, let me get my pad.
Get your pen
I
out
want to make notes of this
because
haunt
you're
you
going to
later.
go, what? All right.
Okay, first of all,
Let's start with
I want to ask you the questions. How many Republicans are there in the district?
I did not put that number down, but it's a lot. Okay.
A lot. How
Look,
many Democrats?
and I'd have to go pull all that stuff, and I didn't do that. But this is what I've
What
got
did you
for you
got?
right now. Wayne County, we had 8,570 Democrats come out and vote.
Okay.
Republicans were 6,738. All right, you got that?
Uh-huh.
Wilson County, that's where I'm going tonight. Democrats, 6,482. Republicans, 3,085. Isn't that crazy?
Mhm.
Greene County,
Mhm.
Democrats were 1,387. Republicans were 679. So far we have like a 2-to-1. Lenore County, Democrats 3,280. Republicans 2,814. Pitt County, the second largest county in the 3rd district. Pitt County, 13,755 Democrats. 4,575 Republicans. Okay.
How many independents? Don't
They have to choose one or the other one. They've had Onslow
These are
County.
the ballots that were cast with Republican and Democrats.
Onslow County, Democrats 5,564.
5,000.
564.
Okay.
5564. Republicans 8,787.
Mhm.
So, and we're the largest county in the district now.
No.
All right, Sampson County.
Largest number of voters.
Yes.
Okay.
Sampson County, 2,894 Democrats, 5,801 Republicans. Duplin County, 2,210 Democrats, 4,204 Republicans. Jones County, 774 Democrats and 929 Republicans. So a grand total of, for the district, grand total for Democrats was 44,917.
44,000, do it again.
All right, total Democrats that voted, 3rd district, 44,917.
Mhm.
Republicans, 37,612.
So you're complaining that Republicans didn't turn out.
Republicans did not turn out.
Okay, how many registered Republicans in the district? You don't know?
I would have to look up every single
And
county one
Democrats.
by one. I can do that, but
Okay.
but that's just the numbers from the primary.
Hmm.
So as it stands right now,
So,
we would probably have a Democratic 3rd district congressman.
yeah, if the Democrats turn out and the Republicans don't turn out like they didn't this time, and likely the unaffiliated, I'd like to know how many of those voted as unaffiliated and
Well-
what ballot they took. I'd like to know that. That would be a key.
I don't know that I can get it drilled down to that. I've tried.
I think you
but,
can.
But right now, they just canvassed and certified the election this past Friday. So
Okay, well, that's all well and good. So many of the races, local races. Now, forget the congressional race.
right.
Well, let's don't forget the congressional race. How many Republican opponents were there? How many Republican candidates were there in the congressional race?
There was
4?
only Republican. There was no opponents. It was just
None, zero.
none. Right.
So in other words, the Republicans had no reason to turn out to vote for the
congressional race.
in the congressional
Right.
race. Okay,
Mhm.
no reason, none. Right.
for that race.
Well,
but,
which is that's what we're kind of talking about here, because it is a 3rd congressional district.
all right.
So they had no reason to really turn out because their man was in. If that was the only race they were concerned with, they had no reason to turn out, right? Senate race in North Carolina, for North Carolina. There was just a handful of Republicans running, right?
Correct.
There was not much reason to turn out. It was a given that Watley was going to be getting the nomination, right?
That's on that, but we still had people in the local races.
Oh, I understand that. People are not
Right.
turning out for the local races either. That's the
Right.
problem. And if you don't have a draw like a presidential race, this is not probably that unusual, I would
Right.
think,
I think it's very unusual.
unless there were serious. Now, I know that when Walter Jones passed and Murphy was running,
right.
there were a whole bunch of people because it was a
17
runoff.
people.
There was a runoff.
Right.
Right. So that one drew got a lot of attention. Presidential year, non-presidential year, that got attention.
Right.
Any idea what the Republican turnout was in the 3rd congressional district, 2024 during the presidential race?
Oh, I'd have to go back because the district was different then and
I understand.
and look up all that. I'm just now looking at how many registered voters we have here.
So it's I don't see anything that I would not expect in this race.
No, I expected it to be different.
Well, you were hoping, but
No, I expected
you
it.
were looking at you're looking at local races. Now, if you go, let's just take Onslow County as an example. We had more Republicans turned out here than we'd had Democrats turn out, correct?
Correct.
In Onslow County. So, and
Low voter turnout though.
yeah, I understand, but we had more Republicans to turn out.
Than
Onslow
the
County.
Democrats, but not by much.
8,700 to 5,500. That's a significant number for people that don't turn out.
Yeah.
But
seen
but by the same token, how many races, primary races, the school board didn't have a contested race, right?
Correct.
Primaries for the Republicans. The county commissioners had a minor contested race, right? They had one
Right.
seat that was up for grabs that figured the two incumbents were going to get the 2 seats. So people turned out, Republicans turned out to select one person out of 3 or 4 that were running, others that were running, 3 maybe. And Walter Scott and who else? 2 others, I believe.
Yeah, Elliot German, Walter Scott,
Whitney
Whitney
Cantrell.
Cantrell.
So 3 of them.
Right.
So 3 of them were vying for that one seat, basically.
Right.
And it was pretty close. For Whitney and Walter got really close together, 34 votes, as I recall, difference. So that was a contested race. So Republicans turned out more there in Oslo County, percentage-wise, than they did in the other places.
Going back before 2014, this has been the lowest voter turnout in Onslow County.
I understand that, and shame on Oslo County.
That's right.
We got more voters.
But we weren't the only one. These other counties. Look at Pitt
understand that.
County.
So why, you tell me,
Look at
Miss Political,
Miss
why,
Political.
and anybody else that wants to jump on board here, you tell me, I'm a hard-headed, good old Southern boy without any affiliation,
I'm an
apparently,
unaffiliated voter.
Without any affiliation, I
wear it like a
I
badge.
can vote any way I want.
Right. Well, let me ask you this.
Why did they not turn out? Are they fed up? I mean, I hear so many Republicans bickering with each other. I hear Democrats bickering with each other, but that's been going on for a while.
Huge thing within the state of North Carolina.
Okay,
It's the
so now
Republican Party.
let's get down to how many people are leaving the Republican Party and joining the my group as opposed to the Democrats joining my group. Do you know that?
Quite a few.
Are there more Republicans
Oh,
leaving?
look, I have it right here. 21,486 Democrats. Republicans, 50,823. Unaffiliated, 57,138. That's Onslow County.
Okay. So, but again, where are those independents coming from? Which party? They don't just go out and sign up to be an independent. They come from one party or the
I
other
would
because
say
they get ticked off.
The majority of them are coming from the Republican Party, some from the Democratic Party. Democratic Party has taken a loss over
The
the
Democrats
years,
are more united than the Republicans.
but
is
not
what
as
you're
much
saying.
as let's go back
Basically.
and see what it was when I was last there.
Well, that was the reason.
Who's their leadership as compared to the Republican leadership party in Oslo County? I'm not talking about any other county. Who's a more powerful leader?
Oh,
God, I'm hearing crickets in this room. Can you all hear those little?
I mean, that's why I left the
I'm
Republican
looking
Party.
up stuff.
I was so disgusted with both parties.
All right,
I left them both.
let's try. All right, as soon as you finish that, I'm going to tell you what the numbers were when I left as chairman.
Now we're going to get into the.
When I left as
I'm
chairman,
going into the weeds.
I'm going to
here.
show you what I had when I left.
I'm going straight into the weeds, but I'm going to request some assistance from my really good friend on the left coast. Hey, Charlie.
The left coast or the right coast?
Well, if you're looking bass backwards towards Mexico, it would be the right coast. But if you're
You know,
looking,
it's funny. Listen, I only caught the last 3 minutes of this conversation.
okay,
And you guys are talking about numbers. You're talking about people switching political parties.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, respectfully, I think that maybe you're grabbing your news from outlets that are basically, they're going to do anything and everything to make sure that people believe that those that were pro-Trump are no longer pro-Trump.
no. We're not looking at anything about that. We're looking at in our local district here. How many counties we have now? 13.
9.
9 counties in the 3rd congressional district. We're looking at these numbers and only for specific races. Got nothing to do with Donald Trump.
So are the people in your community, have they changed their stance on who they're going to vote for in the next election?
We have no idea who they're going to vote for in the next election. This is not. We don't do polls. I don't like polls. They generally are provided. Whoever writes the polls determines the outcome of the polls. I've been involved in polls. I know how they work. So that they make.
I apologize. For the last 5 minutes that I was watching your show, it seems like, and like I said, I apologize. I thought you guys were presenting something that said, listen, the people in our community, they no longer support Trump. They don't like this guy.
Nope.
We hadn't even mentioned his name.
No, it has got nothing to do with that. It's got people that are just not voting in total. We had 11% turnout in the primary election from Onslow County. This county we live in here, we had 11% of the registered voters, 128,000. Whatever the number is, 11 out of 100 of them turned out to vote.
131. Yeah.
That is a Democrat, Republican, and unaffiliated. 11%, 11 out of every 100. That is just not acceptable. What's turned them off?
No, what has turned them off?
That's what we're asking. I don't know. We got the figures, and that's all I can do is look at the numbers and ask what's turned them off. What's different now than it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago? And I think Lee's going to help me answer that question in a minute.
Have you guys talked about the whole the TSA agents that are not being paid, the whole SAVE Act?
Yeah,
Have you guys talked about that?
Yeah, we have. And I think all of the congressmen and all of the senators should take no pay whatsoever and not get any back pay ever for anything that they don't do when they don't work. And I think that one member of their family should fly on every airline, every plane that takes off every day from any airport, anywhere, that's going to be inspected by TSA agents who are not being paid. How's that sound to you?
Let me ask you this. I'm being very serious.
So am I.
The people that are in, the people that are in Congress, all these elected officials, they're supposed to be the voice of their constituents. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they're basically saying, listen, we stand by you, but we're not going to pay you, but we're going to keep on getting our money. I don't get that. You would think someone from the Democratic Party or the Republican Party would say, listen, this is disastrous. We're not going to take a penny of our paycheck until these people, they get paid. Why are they doing that?
Because they're not going to. They're going to leave without their pay.
Again, we have 11% that turned out to vote. 11%. That is sub-pitiful.
That's my whole point.
Yeah.
I just think it's really sad. Like if I was in the Congress or if I was a politician, I would say, listen, these are people that are making not a lot of money. They have a horrible, hard, stressful job. And, let's sacrifice my pay. Let's let my family suffer. Maybe I'm going to lose points on my credit. Maybe I'm not going to be able to pay my rent or lease in my apartment. But you know what? I stand for these people. These people don't stand for anything on either party. It's really sad. What is it? You're doomed if you do, if you're doomed if you don't. These are horrible people on both sides of the party.
Thank you very much. You're proving my point exactly. Yeah. You are the typical person that I'm speaking of, and I think you're the typical American these days, and that sucks. That we have had to put us into that kind of a position. Yeah,
it's really sad. You would just think one politician would just stand up and say, listen, to all my fellow politicians, listen, hey guys, whenever you go by, we need to lose all of our pay. I don't know. It's very sad.
Yes, it is.
So it really is sad.
Charlie, you're proving my point. We don't have enough brass among us. So we have 11% of people in Onslow County of 129,000 registered voters. 11% of them, 14,000 and change voted out of 129,000 registered voters. 129,000. 14,000 voted. You know what? If I was an elected official, I would find out who those 14,000 were, and I wouldn't even care about the other 120,000 or 15,000 of you. I would just care about them because they're the only ones voting for me.
Oh, I got down to the last one and missed.
How would you like that?
You know what? I actually agree with you. That was very cool that I got a chance to, say what I thought. Can I just say something on a comedic level?
Yeah, go ahead, please. I want to hear another impression, but you pick a different one. But go ahead right now.
You want to hear another impression? Seriously?
Yeah.
I got 38. Hold on. What's an impression I can do for you that would? I can do impressions from 2018 up, or I can do impressions from the 1940s. Hepburn impression for you?
You did that the last time you called. Yes, that was great.
Okay, let me give it. Hold on. we'll give it a who can I? What's an obscure random?
No, not an obscure one. Jimmy Durante.
Ah,
Jimmy Durante?
Yeah. Okay. Never that. Never mind.
No, I know.
Yeah, I know you do.
Hold on. I can't think of anyone. Here's what I want to say. Okay, I'm fascinated. I'm obsessed with the size of your monitor. It's the largest monitor in the history of monitors. You're never going to go to another podcast. You're never going to go to another.
I go where I want to go. I go where I want to go when I want to go.
Okay, no, hold on. Here's okay. Remember when you were a child and you went to a drive-in movie theater
No.
and it was a large screen and you sat in your car and you had popcorn and hot dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. Your monitor is 3 times the size of that screen
Boy.
that anyone has ever witnessed.
Boy.
It's so large. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. It's just so big.
Well, I'm in the process of changing things around. Inside here, this is a temporary setup, and there's going to be some more changes. Lee has walked in a couple of times, and she's seen things change already, and some more will be coming. When I make changes here, I have to rewire stuff. You understand? And it's at this age of approaching 80, I have to get on the floor.
How old are you?
I'll be 80 in 2 years and 1 month.
2 years old.
I got to be on dude. That's really wild. How sharp. I would have thought that you were tops maybe 64.
I'm lying about the 80 age. I'm only 61 years old.
Are you really 61?
You'll never know when I'm lying.
Hold on. I got to do one impression here.
I was trained how to lie. You understand that?
I do an impression of Abraham Lincoln's next door neighbor. And it's because nobody knows who she sounds like, but I gotta come up with. Hold on, I gotta do an impression that you guys would.
Okay.
Hold on, come on. You know, I gotta go. Hold on, I'm going through my brain right now. Hey, can I ask you guys a question? What happened to Kelly?
Kelly's trying to work for a living right now. They've given her business and everything else that was going on during the last government shutdown. There were some issues there, and so she's working her butt off trying to keep things under going on. So she's got it up, and she's tired of getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and coming in here and doing all this stuff, and then going back there and working until 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock at nighttime. And then she also has some other issues at home that she's helping taking care of her mom.
You got to understand, Oslo County's got a lot of sick tickets in this crowd, so she's got to help us out.
Yeah, we got a lot of cases.
We got a couch in the studio
She
for.
can't even get to all of us. Yeah, I got a couch over here into the studio. How many studios do you know like that? And it's not a casting couch.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you guys a question. I remain anonymous online.
Mm-hmm.
If I end up in Onslow County and I emailed you guys or
in
had
the
a
jail?
conversation with you guys, and you know that door behind you that says welcome?
Yeah.
Is there any chance that I could open up that door and sit down and have a conversation with you guys live online?
You will never open up that door.
Okay, well, why not? Isn't there a door?
Yeah, but it goes somewhere and is all fully protected on both sides.
Okay. So
There's a door that comes in from the outside directly into here. Yes, you can come through that, but that's the door I get to see. I look over the top of this monitor, which is also Kevlar on the backside of it, and I can see the outside door very carefully. There's no
So
problem.
I'm trying to come up with an impression very quickly, but can I ask your guest that's sitting in the guest chair a very quick question?
He does impressions too. Hey, Hall.
Yep. Do you actually do impressions? I'd love to hear an impression. I love people that can do impressions.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've done a few in my life. I have. I can sound like a donkey, horse,
Yes, Scott.
Oh, you know what? I've got a really
and I can sound like people too. I mean,
Too late.
I have sang like John Wayne. I mean, like John Conway Twitty before, but it takes 2 beers and a cigarette.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Hold on, I've got a great impression to do. Should I tell you the name of the person that I'm?
No, go ahead and tell us.
impersonating?
Give us the impression first. Then we got to get moving.
Okay. I reckon you could do it that way.
Yeah,
You
I
like to listen to live and local.
You ain't
Real
God,
talk.
that gives me whip.
got no gas in it.
Stop, both of you.
Wow, that
That
really,
guy creeps me out.
that cranks your car up.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
makes me want to get my gun out.
Oh, did you know the impression that I just did?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just that.
called
I like
Carl
it.
Childers. It was okay. I've heard
Oh,
better.
hold on. It was okay?
Yeah, it was okay. I can do it better than that in my sleep. It's
Well,
called
go ahead.
snoring.
Don't go to sleep.
I want to hear your impression.
Carl Childers?
Yeah.
It ain't got no gas in it. How much you want for the biggins? You got the French fried potatoes in there? How much you want
I reckon you could do it.
Yeah, I am.
I think you could do an impression better.
I can do a lot. I did not have sex with that woman.
No, he
Who was
does.
that?
Charlie does a good
Charlie
one.
does a great one with that one.
Yeah, he does. Now, I'll give you credit for that. You can outdo me on Bill Clinton.
impression?
I
Yeah.
have.
You do
I would
yours.
like to say, listen, I'm listening to you
There you go.
live and local.
I'm live
I
and
think you're
local.
doing a really good job. I
Yeah.
can say right now, I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're going, but I will say this. I did not do anything with that woman.
Right.
God.
When
Charlie
you're-
does a
I
good
like this
one.
guy. I like this impression off. I like how we're like having dual impressions, like we're drawing our guns and we're pointing them at each other. You give me another one. I'm going to give you one. You go ahead there.
No, my-
Go ahead,
mine's
Rich
bigger than
Little.
yours.
Go ahead, Rich Little. Give me another one.
Yeah, I like Rich Little. I saw him in person in
Well, he had
Greensboro.
so many voices, you didn't really know
Didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
I got numbers.
No, you didn't know who he was?
I mean, he did so many impressions, you didn't hardly ever find his real voice. I mean, he had
I'm gonna
a,
give you
he was like Mel Blanc.
I'm going to give you another impression. You guys tell me who this is, okay?
Uh-huh.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Yeah. He's something that. The guy is. I don't even know who the guy is, and he's like, yeah. It's a nice guy. He's a nice fella.
Yeah,
There.
that's Floyd the Barber.
Who for the You know what?
He's
I
like,
do a lot of King of the Hill impressions. Here's my King of the Hill impressions. Con Junior, you come home now. You stay away from Bobby Hill. He's no good for you. What the hell? You see King of the Hill?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I haven't, but it's all right.
Oh, you don't know King of the Hill?
No, why should I?
What, Bobby? What are you talking about, Bobby?
Talking about whatever I want to talk about, boy.
All right, listen. I think I've embarrassed myself with these hacking
You
impressions.
done good.
Nobody knows who you are. You
You
can't
done
embarrass
good.
yourself if nobody knows who you are, right?
Well, you know,
Except me.
whatever. Anyway,
Except
I guess with that, I hope you guys have a very nice
too.
day.
You too.
And I want to end with something funny and poetic, but I've got nothing. So bye.
hasta la vista, baby.
Wow. Okay.
Your marine weather outlook.
Well,
Yeah, today offshore, out of 20 nautical miles. Northwesterly winds, 15 to 20 knots, gust to 25, becoming westerly 10 to 15 this afternoon. 5 to 7 foot seas. Big ones near shore. Seas are going to be 4 to 6, subsiding to 2 to 4 this afternoon. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop by the afternoon time, hopefully. Wednesday, tomorrow, northerly winds 10 to 15. What in the Sam Hill is that before I put
I
a
just
round
think
through it?
it's God signaling us or something.
Hold it
Sounds
out here.
like chimes from
This
heaven.
is my gun with a silencer attached.
If I told you who that was, you would shoot me.
No, I wasn't. I have to clean the gun then.
I'd clean it for you.
No, you won't if I shoot you.
If I was living, I'd clean it for you.
Northerly winds tomorrow, 10 to 15 knots, becoming northeasterly 5 to 10 in the afternoon, 3 to 5 footers, 9 seconds apart, and 2 to 4 footers near shore. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop, diminishing to light chop in the afternoon. You're talking while I'm talking. Northerly winds on Thursday around 10 knots, 3 to 5 footers, 9-second intervals, 2 to 3 feet.
What?
Go ahead and try it again. I ain't learned how to cut it off.
2 to 3 footers near shore. Sounds and rivers a light chop.
Today is sunny with a high near 51, northwest wind 8 to 10 miles per hour with the gust as high as 16. It was Steve on the phone. Tonight, clear with a low around 26. Wednesday, increasing clouds with a high near 51. Wednesday night, cloudy, then gradually becoming partly cloudy with a low around 30. And Thursday, sunny with a high near 62. 62.
62.
Steve, you better be the voice of reason today.
He ain't.
Otherwise, I'm coming back to Swansboro.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I was
Hello,
there.
darling.
See, that was the first thing. Hold on. Don't make it worse.
Used to be.
How's
Not
your
bad.
bad?
Not bad at all.
Are you happy?
People love that song, man.
Oh, yeah.
I was very surprised by that.
When I used to sing, that was one it, and "Happy Birthday, Darling" was one of the biggest songs, for the generation that you sang, that I sang.
I will let you know that I personally met Conway Twitty
So did I. Shot his
I-
picture with
when
my
we-
daughter.
when we were doing.
There's another one. The name of the song escapes me, and that's a funny quirk I've got. But it's
I was his
Oh,
bodyguard.
It's called
lay you
Age.
down in softly whisper,
Yeah.
pretty love words in your
It's I'd Love to Lay You Down.
down.
That
I
was
love
my
that
mother's
song.
favorite song.
Hmm.
She
I
loved
can't
that
remember the
song.
name of the song. I'm talking
Yeah.
about it. Ain't that crazy?
It was I'd Love to Lay You Down. That by
Love to Lay You Down,
Yep,
that's it.
Love to Lay
Yeah.
You Down.
But anyway, I was his bodyguard when he came here to perform.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we had security out there, and of course, I made sure that I had that
Did you
detail.
fix his toupee?
That's what
while you
happens
had it?
when you're the boss.
Did you fix his toupee while you had it?
No, but I got to go on his bus.
God, you should have
Yeah.
fixed his toupee.
I have a personalized autograph from Conway.
I met him in Ritalin.
Well, his brother liked me.
Oh boy, she's grinning and turning red, Steve. Oh boy.
Remember the ladies that they had a TV show where one of them was more popular than her sisters were, but
Barbara Mandrell.
that's the one.
I figured you were
I
talking.
was on the bus with her and in Wilmington and shooting photos because she did a performance show benefit the highway patrol, and the sergeant said, "You're going on this bus with me, boy." And I said,
I
"Yes,
have
sir."
a whole slew that I've met over the years
Awesome.
back then.
She always impressed me that she could go around and play all the instruments.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who, Mandrell?
But
Barbara.
yeah,
Oh, God! From one to the other, right after what number?
right. But I do believe it was a bit of a gimmick because her sisters could play other instruments as
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
But it was the Barbara Mandrell
she
show.
wasn't the headliner. I mean, they weren't the headliner.
She was.
She was the headliner.
She was.
I always thought Louise was the prettiest. Now that was my opinion.
She had
Was
the
that
dark
the
hair,
one?
didn't she?
Huh?
Did she have
Was
the dark
that
hair?
the blonde drummer, the youngest one? I can't
Lurleen.
remember her sister.
Lurleen.
Glad
I got
y'all
it.
Was
remember.
it,
was
wasn't it
the one that-
Lurleen? Yeah, she played the drums.
That's the one I like, the one that played the
Yeah,
was the actual drummer that played the drums.
Yeah, she was portrayed to be not as smart as the rest, but her
Right.
beauty.
Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah,
That's what you say. I heard. I knew that.
was.
You have to say that with a grain of salt because Hollywood is that show up a little bit, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
We always had to have one in the crowd like that. When you had to have one that was not as
look
smart
at
as the
that.
other.
Look at
Yeah,
Barney.
correct. I do that a lot.
Look at Barney Fife
Yeah.
and Gomer Pyle.
Yep.
Now talk about a man with a voice.
Yes, he did.
It was Jim Neighbors, and then there was Gomer Pyle. They were
Yes.
not the same person.
No.
Did you ever hear the story about how he got discovered? Actually got discovered.
No.
Andy Griffith actually discovered him. He went to a talent show and he was up there singing and brought him down and wanted him to play Gomer.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "I never acted in my life." And he said, Andy Griffith looked at him and said, "Well, there's nothing to it." And then you had Goober. Goober had taken acting lessons and all these years, and both of them, Goober and Jim, were both from Alabama. And Goober, he wanted to part of Gomer. But Jim Neighbors beat him out, and he never took an acting class in his life.
He was just natural.
He's just natural at it. And that's Andy Griffith actually discovered Jim Neighbors, and he was singing.
I'll tell you where later.
Okay. But that was the story. That was the story behind it.
It's in the bar, front street,
No, not at all.
down at the cotton mill.
I don't know if y'all were familiar. I'm sure you probably were with Jim Neighbors' musical career, but that was a different character altogether
He was.
when he was, I guess, acting natural.
Yeah, he was.
But actually, he was a pretty good actor, and he just didn't
He was
know
a
it.
great singer, though. I mean, God.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic
Yeah.
I mean,
singer.
when you get up there and
Yep, he can sing.
Rare chill. Well, and again, they were two different people. There was something different there.
Well, they had one guy on there, and he was actually an opera singer, and he was one. I saw him in 2 episodes, and he was one of them. He was a moonshiner, and the other one, and Barney was trying to sing, and they put him in the background and turned Barney's mic off, but he was actually. I read about him. He was actually an opera singer.
Wow.
And they brought him in as
he was out of place.
He was out of place, but they dressed him up in overalls and old shirt. But yeah, he was very good.
See, Steve, there's a place for us yet. They can do something with us. Give me some lipstick, put it on this pig.
Yeah,
we'll do something.
That's true.
Okay, what'd you call it out for serious? Anything?
Or you forgot? Honestly, guys, something that's been on my mind. I heard it's the president, and I won't go deep into it, but I heard him several times over the last few weeks talk about them passing that SAVE Act that has a bunch of voter laws in it or whatever. But in selling it, he keeps saying that we can't let them steal another election.
Mm-hmm. I've heard
and
that.
Honestly, that really troubles me that the president of the United States is still making that claim.
Well, I think, Steve, for your sake and mine, I hate it when he says that or implies it. He's going to say, I'm not talking about my election. I'm sure if somebody confronts him, he will say, look at all the other reports of stolen elections. So, we've had it here this morning. We've been talking about it. We've had it on the air about other elections all over the country where people claim their election was stolen. And obviously we know, I personally in my heart deep down know that he's talking about his election in 2020. I have no doubt about it, and that's what he keeps referring to. But I got over it. I don't care. I mean, that's water under that bridge, over the dam, whatever it is. There's not a whole lot I can do about him doing that, and I don't think you can either. I don't know. Maybe you can.
Right. And honestly, I wouldn't even have another thought about it. Like you said, it'd be water under the bridge if he didn't keep bringing it up.
He's going to bring it up till death do us part.
Yes, sir.
Well, what concerns me about it is he said we can't let him do it again. He's already implying that there may be fraud in this upcoming midterm, and I'm just concerned about how if people are going to give him credibility, if the Democrats sweep in November and he gets up there and tries to say it's all fraudulent and
what else would he say?
Like what he tried to do before.
What else would he say? I mean, we've already discussed 2 races here this morning. Recent races that people are claiming fraud. It was not right. They counted wrong. They gave the wrong ballot. They did this. They did that. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's going to be fraud.
Yeah. I get that. But,
Burger's going to find
in most other cases, people, if somebody has a grievance, they voice their grievance. And in America, we look into that. We don't just disregard it.
Yeah.
And that's what we should do. Mm-hmm. But once the courts have said that you don't have nothing here, that's the end of it, but that's not been the end of it in this case.
Here's what I said in the beginning, and as we went along with that election. If all of the votes that were questioned were given to him, the outcome of the election would not have changed. Every vote that he and his team claimed that when it came down to it, now, I know I just really irritated some people out there, but every vote that they claimed was stolen when they did their investigations on those individual elections, those particular cases, if every one of them was turned over to Donald Trump, he would still have lost the election. So get over it.
And I get where you're coming from, but that's not where my concern lies.
Yeah,
my concern lies in is if he makes a claim, a fraudulent or a claim that he has no evidence for. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna say it's fraudulent, but if you make a claim you ain't got no evidence, you got nothing. And how MAGA is going to respond to that? Are they going to go try and burn the Capitol to the ground again because he's got up there and told them that this election is stolen? To me, that's some real world concerns that I understand the past is the past, but it clearly he seems to be setting the stage to do the same thing again if its outcome isn't what he wants it to be.
If the Democrats take over, it's going to be to follow the Republicans because they didn't get enough votes.
Well, honestly, Tom Tillis, I've consumed more of it lately than I have, in the past. But he made that statement that the Republicans were just handing power back to the Democrats.
Yep.
It was a wasted opportunity. Well, everything they're doing is just going to make people vote for Democrats in the next two elections.
And there are going to be people out there, and I understand why Tillis did what he did, why he said, I'm not going to run again. I don't like the president. I can't put up with this. I'm not going to deal with it. And I've walked off more than one job for the same reason.
Right.
Okay. One job I walked off of because I looked at the man screaming and hollering and carrying on in a room full of department heads, that I was one of them. We had 7 of us in there, and there was only one door out of that place. And he was up there looking like he was going to stroke it in a minute. There were no phones in there. And I'm thinking, I'm the only one here knows CPR, and I'm going to block the door.
Mm-hmm.
Then I left.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
I seriously, that's what went through my mind.
And I walked off jobs too. I mean,
Okay.
I quit a very prestigious job one time because the owner fired a helper off one of my jobs without consulting me.
Yep, I understand.
Yeah,
Now,
I get that. I get that. We all
with
probably been there at
Tillis,
some point,
there people are already blaming Tillis. Republicans are blaming him. A lot of Republicans, the same Republicans that complained, moaned, and groaned and griped and did that B word about him crossing the aisle to, try to play nice and to do this, because there were issues there that should have been everybody been voting on. Everybody been voting the same way he did, but he couldn't get that to happen because he was a Republican. And then those same people are now complaining already. I'm hearing it. Him walking off, that's just giving the Senate seat that he's held for 12 years to a Democrat. That's what they're saying. Now, the Republicans have a major uphill battle to try to keep Cooper from getting that seat and to put their man in. That's what's happening. Does anybody not see that as being just about the simplest case scenario? Don't you understand this? The same people who were complaining are complaining now that he left.
Right. And I mean, from a practical standpoint, how was Tillis going to go up against the Democrat with no Republican support?
Well,
Once Trump started doing what he did, Tillis was getting death threats to his family from MAGA.
Yep.
I mean, can we all agree that's a bridge too far?
Mm-hmm.
That should be unacceptable, no matter whether it's R or D.
I don't know anything about the death threats. I know whether I've heard some people say about death threats here, death threats there. I don't know.
I've heard Tom Tillis say that after the president's comments that he got death threats, and his family got them. Not just him, but his family members. And that's too much, man. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. MAGA needs to go back to the drawing board, because that's not the way we're supposed to do it in America.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know who this MAGA thing is.
That's my concern. I think we've gotten used to Trump just saying a bunch of stuff that, like, people say you got to take it with a grain of salt, which means it's BS. He exaggerates and overstates all the time. So you can't really trust what he says, but sometimes he tells you the truth, and you don't know it till it's too late.
Yep. But, all right. Got a call.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Hey, Tim, I wanted to throw that in there.
Hey, but yeah, man.
Say hey to you much.
Oh man, I know. I'm not around that much. I enjoy it when you call. I mean, I'm a good fan, a big fan of yours. Will I agree or disagree? I like your voice. I think you could do a lot of voiceovers. I think you missed your calling.
Hello, darling.
I mean, honestly, I think you did.
Something I've wanted to do, and I can't get nobody to bite anywhere.
Well, you got to try harder. Try harder because I like your voice.
I tried with the radio station some, and tried with some advertising people some, and
I mean, I can change my voice. I tried it one time trying to do a little, and I didn't make it either because this is my regular voice. But
I tried to change mine, and I ended up in the toilet.
But I can change it.
Gotta go.
I was
Thank you.
gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say, I can go real deep. I can go real high. I talk
Yeah.
like this too, you know, like when I was in the country. But anyway, y'all have a blessed day.
I'm gonna get a fly swatter in a minute. It's what both of you. Y'all having local real talk, and who we got here?
This is Mike.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
What's up? How y'all doing? It's been a while.
Well, we
Hey,
have
Ben.
not heard from you in a very long time. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
I wanted to talk this morning about the SAVE Act as well.
Okay.
One of the major issues that I'm seeing right now, and it actually started like 10 years ago in a lot of the Bible Belt states where they start closing DMVs in certain districts to have access to ID. Where people have to travel about 200 to 600 miles to get to the nearest DMV. But currently, what I'm seeing playing out,
Where is that in this country?
well, that happened in Alabama, Mississippi, a couple other.
200 miles to get to a DMV?
Wow.
They're closing them. If you look at certain DMVs and where they're closing them in Democratic leading districts, yes, it takes a little while.
It's
to get
200 miles.
somewhere.
Is Alabama 200 miles across? From border to border?
Like maybe north to south.
All depends on what interstate
where you
you're
at.
on.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here thinking about the numbers now. I mean, but I don't
Okay. All
remember.
right. So you say they're closing DMVs here, there, and everywhere?
Yeah, in certain places. That started about 10 years ago when they first started doing it. When I first started seeing the reports.
That's called lack of money.
Well, DMV's primary job is not to provide voter IDs. Their primary job is to provide driver's licenses.
Right. But that's called lack of money, Mike. I can tell you that what it is. Yeah, it's they're trimming the budget, and what they'll do,
Trimming the budget.
they'll cut down certain state offices, and the state, because the state now Alabama's a poor state.
Yeah.
Alabama, Mississippi, and Arkansas, they are poor states. And if you ever drive through them much, you'll know. And I have
I know.
been through them a lot.
I know. But it seems when you look at the closures from back then to now, it seems like the closures are targeted for certain districts.
Well, it's,
Okay, well, I'm gonna look that up after the show. I will do a serious look about DMV offices that have closed. And you say Alabama and Mississippi are the primary ones?
Alabama.
The primary ones, yes.
Okay. Let me take a look at that because I don't want to just go willy
But I
nilly.
remember when Alabama got in
Realistic, yeah.
trouble there because according to the federal government, every state has to have a balanced budget. Even though they don't, we're supposed to have a balanced budget. And Alabama got in serious trouble over their budget, and they started closing some state offices. And they laid off a lot of DMV people, even road officers at one time. And then they took their highway patrol, and they're doing what North Carolina has done. And you've got highway patrol now who can do a class 3 inspection on a truck. Now that's as far as they can go. But they started, Alabama was doing that too. They started that long before North Carolina did. But it was trying to get their budget balanced. Was one of the reasons. And if you got if you got one that's turning out, say, I'm going to give this number, it's not a correct number. If you got a DMV office that's turning out, say, 50 driver's license a day, and you got one that's turning out 10 a week, they're going to close that 10 a week. And that was, I remember when it was starting, but they had very, very serious budget problems.
You know, that would be like airlines when you only got 10 people showing up for the 10 o'clock flight at nighttime on a jet that holds 185 people. No, they're going to cancel that flight.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So here's the other issue with the law and the main issue. Currently, right now, well, do you remember the time we used to go to the DMV and it stayed jam packed? You had to stand up just to try to get through. Like the main DMV, not like registration office.
You talking about for driver's license?
For tags?
Yeah, for driver's license IDs.
For tag, driver's license.
Driver's license. I remember going in there, but when every time I've been in going in, ever since I was, I think probably 16 years old, I always called for an appointment. And whenever I have an appointment, I was not a walk-in. I show up at that time, and whoever else, they could have been there for 3 hours. But if I have an appointment, I get called for that appointment time first.
Yes. So
typically we can agree that it always been like packed, right?
In some places.
It's getting
Currently,
better.
Recently, I've been noticing when I set my appointments, and this was about last year, I set an appointment where it wasn't as packed at certain places. Like, when you set an appointment, you can't really find a lot of appointments.
Right.
And actually, right now, you can't find a whole appointment in the entire state of North Carolina for anything.
Probably not within 90 days or something. Now you do have like they used to have. They do have walk-in hours, 7 o'clock in the morning until 10, I think it is, whatever it is. And you will find a line of people there at 8 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah. You and even when I did my appointments, I found that it wasn't as packed as it used to be. So it seems like they could take on more workload. But then when you look online, you don't see no appointments available anywhere. So it leads me to wonder, is that systematic, as far as the availability of these appointments and lowering pretty much making it almost impossible to get an ID.
I don't know if that's the case, and I don't know of anybody that's been turned away that could not get an ID if they want to go vote. I don't know of any cases like that. Do you?
Any cases
who have not been able to go get an ID so they could vote?
I have. Well, I've started noticing this trend recently.
No, you're noticing a trend that they don't have a packed thing. Could that perhaps be because they're now scheduling things and they don't book a lot of people at the same time anymore? Because when I went just recently. What was it, 2 months ago? I went and I had an appointment. I got there and the place had a bunch of people in there because some of them still left over. I got the appointment, the first available appointment I had for that day, and I think it was at 10 o'clock or maybe it's 9:30 or 9:45, but I got there in time for do it. And I was called up first. The place was full of people, but they were every examiner, every station was filled. And they were called one right after the other. I know that it was a lot more streamlined in going through. You didn't have to sit there and wait and talk and do a bunch of stuff. I went through, here it is, here's my stuff, yada, 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 yada. I'm in and I'm out. The other thing that North Carolina has here, and give this a little bit of thought, how many people, do you do yours online? If you can, you can't. Do you do yours online if you can? I do too. You can't do it every time.
It's every other time.
And so this time I had to go in person and appear. But the last time I did it online.
Is it 8 years or 5 years now?
I think it's 8 years now.
Is it 8 years for y'all? Okay.
But anyway, so a lot of people, normal people, for a lot of people out there, they're doing it online. So the driver's license offices don't have them standing up there.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
the problem is right now what I'm seeing currently, you can't find an appointment.
Now, one time, I don't know how it is now, but one time when the deadline came up for the real ID,
that was a
and
problem.
people waited. Yes, people waited to the last. Some people waited to the last minute.
Yeah, people waited to the last
that was a mess. In fact, some of them it even got extended, and some people's driver's license even got extended for another year. Now, me personally, I have a commercial driver's license, and CDL means can't do labor. But I can't get mine I cannot get mine online, and mine is only good for 5 years.
Yeah.
But now here's
used to be 4 years.
Used to be 4 years period. Yes, sir. But the thing about mine, I've only had to go and wait one time. I remember in my life, because here's what I did. The last time I got my driver's license, I happened to be in Mount Airy, North Carolina. In October.
And
I said, I'm joining. Yeah, ain't be. But I just, it was on a Thursday. So I'm going to ride over here and just see how busy they are. There was one person in there, and I walked in and I asked, could I renew my driver's license?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Sit right on down. And I did it. And I was in and out in 10 minutes. Most of the time, when I got my driver's license here, I went to Keenanville.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
And a lot of people go to Keenanville.
Maysville.
And they're not as long. The lines are not as long.
Newport. Yep. So their lines are not
It was always influxed here in Onslow County, always. You always had that. And so I would go to other places.
Here in Onslow County, we got the military as they do over in Craven County, but they did the military a lot of those guys move in here and they have to get a North Carolina driver's license for one reason or another.
Yep.
And now they have to come in. There's no renewal online or anything else. They're changing, getting a North Carolina license for the first time. So the newbies are we're an anomaly. Let's just look at it that way. North Carolina is an anomaly. It's just the way it works.
And one more little thing about Onslow County, we have a lot of people getting their driver's license for the first time.
Yeah, we do.
And so when you go in there and do that, you've got a test drive, and that takes up time.
Yes, it does.
And that was another reason Onslow County's tough on that. But yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
And if you get, let's just say you've had your license revoked for whatever reason.
Yeah.
When it comes time to get your license back, you're going to have to take a driver's test and a written test as well. So, you're going to be put through all of that. And that takes up time. And of course, here in Onslow County, we've had a very high number of individuals that get their driver's licenses revoked. So, it's just the way it is here.
But what I'm saying is, what I'm noticing is that a couple months ago, we didn't have this issue to this degree as it is currently right now today, as far as the availability of appointments online. And I'm noticing that even a couple months ago, like when you said when you went, and this is statewide, this is not Onslow County, that I'm saying that when you go into these offices, there's not as nearly enough people in there that there used to be, or you would deem like, why there's no appointments, for this office.
Well, if they make an appointment, they're not going to go sit there for 4 hours in advance and fill up the lobby. There's no reason to do that. You got an appointment, you get there 15 minutes early, and you get seen. If you're a walk-in, you're going to have to stand in line. And why would you? Why would you, with an appointment, fill up those seats over there and do nothing for your 3 hours you're waiting for your appointment? That wouldn't make any sense. I think the appointments, more people are making appointments, and more people are getting their licenses online renewals. I see absolutely no reason that place should be filled up. If the place was, if the duty, the individual driver's license stations is the examiners, and every one of them had a person in it when I was there. And as soon as the next one came available, next appointment up. That's what they did. So they were running them through whether the audience was 1 million or 25. They can't see but one at a time, period. Bottom line, they have them staggered so they don't have any downtime. That was the biggest thing.
I understand, like, not having 30 people in there, but just only having 5 people waiting, for an hour, between hour appointment time. It's like, all right, could we up our capacity some?
Okay, you'd have to look at that and show me the numbers. From one time that I've been in there, I did not see that.
Yeah, but I think if this trend continues, because there's people like you said, that use online only to get their stuff renewed and such. And other than all the options, even just paying simple fees, you can't even find an appointment for, and it's pretty much indefinite. Just don't give you a future date. Where if people just use online only, they could be disillusioned to the fact of, all right, well then there's just no appointments. I can't go get my ID.
I don't know what they're disillusioned. I do not know of anybody that's complained about not being able to get an ID.
That's why I think that's the space we need to watch, and just see leading up to the midterms of,
Okay. Do you think that there are people who are complaining because they have not been able to get an ID?
Oh yes, for sure.
How many people did you know of who cannot get an ID, who have not been able to get one? 5.
My nephew.
Why could they not get an ID?
Can't find an appointment, and then when they go in there, they tell them they got to make an appointment online.
Yes.
So they can't get ID.
Okay, but they have to make an appointment. So why didn't they make an appointment? Did you wait till the last minute?
No, they've been trying to make appointments for months.
Okay.
They can't find an appointment.
They cannot for months. I mean, I made mine about, mine is actually not due until April 14th, but I got mine last month, and I made my appointment probably the very instant,
What is it? You can
six months
before your
out.
deadline. Yes.
6 months out, I made the appointment, and my appointment was not until February, but that's what I did.
Yeah. See, there's like a.
Now, let me tell you one more thing that idiots do. And we, the people, are idiots. Too many of us are idiots. They will make an appointment, like I did, many months in advance. And let's just say that I drove through Mount Airy between the time of I made the appointment and the time I had an appointment. And I say, let me run in here and see if I can go ahead and get mine done. And I go in and I get mine done. I'm little Timmy, and I've got an appointment 5 months away, but I don't cancel that appointment once I get my driver's license. Then they've got an empty space there that little Timmy doesn't show up.
Yep.
And therefore, little Timmy has created a problem. And I was told about that one at the driver's license office because I had that chat with the individuals there. See, there are issues there that they have to put up with.
Yeah, they can fix it too.
They can't fix that.
Yeah, they can.
Double book like the airlines do. How does that work out for them?
No, it's a statewide connected system, and all they have to do is when they go and get it fixed, check see if they got appointments, cancel it.
Yeah, but they didn't. That's what he's trying to tell you.
I know that.
The people didn't cancel it.
That the system itself is flawed to the point where
It's not the system; it's the person who didn't cancel the appointment.
He thinks that if you get your driver's license and you've already got an appointment, that it should show up automatically and cancel it.
And
well, it doesn't. The software doesn't do that.
Yeah,
there are 100 counties here, and in many counties there's more than one driver's license examining place.
Now I can tell you what I could have done if if that scenario had happened. I could have, if I had an appointment in Onslow County and I went up down Mount Airy and got my driver's license. I said, "Well, look, I have an appointment in Onslow County for this month. Can you look on there and see?" And if they said, "Well, yeah, I can look on there and see," and to see you cancel that for me,
They don't have that ability.
probably not.
My
You
brother
know,
said,
You got to understand, state government is poor.
Yeah, I agree with you don't have that ability, but it's software. They can fix that. They're not that poor.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I'll give you a fair amount. I can email. I can email the North Carolina Permit Department and get a permit within 20 minutes. I can email the state of South Carolina for a permit.
Okay. We got one more caller holding here.
It's 48 hours.
Mike, thank you, sir.
thanks, Mike. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, great
All right,
morning.
you take it. And we see if we still got a caller holding there. Good morning. You're live and local. Still here?
Hey guys, it's me.
Sorry to
twice.
No, you're fine.
After I hung up, I remembered the main reason I called you this morning.
Oh, for God's sakes! You
Is
took me
that
that
the
long?
main reason?
I can't.
Well, it did.
As long as I had you on hold, I can't figure out. I don't remember what you called about.
Hi.
Yeah. Do y'all use landscape fabric in your garden or in your tolerance?
Yes,
do.
at times. Yes.
I used to use newspaper.
Okay. Lowe's has got it on sale. Today's the last day. You can get a 6 foot by 300 foot roll of woven landscape fabric.
Okay, got it.
Green line.
Got it. I'll be there.
For $38.
I'll be there.
very
That's
good.
cheap.
I still have
you
some
gotta order
left,
it.
yeah.
So when you go in, you got to order it. They don't keep it in
Well, then I
stock.
can order it online then, right?
You can order it online.
I got it. I'll tell my wife to do it.
I wanted to share that with you because normally it's for like 80.
Yeah, that 300 feet. That's I can do a 6 foot swab right down the middle of the football field, can I?
Yep.
So
But
I
anyway,
can
that
do
was the one
right.
thing I forgot to share this morning. I want to call back. And let you know
Okay,
about
real
it.
quick,
It was
like
the last day it's on sale.
Mr. Smart Man here. Okay, it's 100 yards long, right? It's 6 feet wide. How many rolls would I have to be able to cover that entire from goalpost to goalpost? Get back to me in a bar.
What's the width?
From goalpost to goalpost, you have to have
remember
2 rolls because it's more than 100 yards between the goalposts.
Right. There you go. He's
No.
right.
I'm talking about width. You're covering the whole
The
width
6
of the
foot width.
field, not
Oh,
between the
well,
goalposts.
yeah,
Just
I'll
take
have
our
to get
next
back to you.
call.
From goal line to goal line. Forget the goalpost. Goal line to goal
Eyes
line.
on the phone.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, y'all have a blessed day.
Hey, boo boo. Hi.
I like what he
Hey
said.
guys, how you doing this morning?
I don't know. Nobody's told us yet.
All right, so I got some, like, on a serious note, the DMV issue. So,
Yes.
so what I found out, because I did call the state on this one, they said that they are only scheduling X amount of appointments. Like I think it's like 20 appointments a day.
Yes.
And they are no longer scheduling out past a week. So if that week of appointments can't be filled, they only do walk-ins.
Wow.
So you have to go to it. Yeah. So it's no longer 6 months or where you can
new.
schedule it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We tried to renew some licenses and we got some teenagers that tried to get some. And they're like, well, you got to walk in. So I had to schedule an appointment like 2 hours away or an hour or something away at DMV who wasn't as busy or didn't have those scheduled appointments. They reduced that time.
Huh.
I honestly feel like it's just so that they don't feel like their numbers are reporting that they're backlogged and they're not doing their job or they're not as efficient because they're saying, hey, look, we have 20 appointments and we're filling those appointments. But now, on another serious note, okay, like I know we were talking about the voters and 50,000 people and 20,000 gigawatts of people or however many amount of people.
Yep.
Now, if these elected officials, including the sheriff's department, any of these people that are, going up for, an election, and even the donkeys, okay? Even the donkeys, if you would have bought a custom shirt from us, then people would show their conviction on their chest, okay? And more people would have voted.
I like what he said too.
So in other words, what you're telling me, Boo-Hi, Mr. Boo-Hi, is that you're selling votes.
If that's what it takes.
We'll sell the boat, the sky, whatever it takes.
So those people who are running for office, you want them to buy votes from people, right?
Yeah.
No, they're not buying votes. They're just showing their conviction on a T-shirt that says "I have voted," just like the stickers.
Oh, you're saying the aftermath
on them. You know what I'm saying? Like voter number one.
All right.
Rayford, he said he's got new shirts now that say "I survived the DMV." Those will go
That's
fast.
Right. Yeah.
Those will go fast.
There won't be that many people that need
I
them.
want one.
They won't survive. Thank you, Boo-Bye. Boo-Bye. Hi.
Thank you.
Hi.
Bye.
Hey.
See ya.
He's a trip.
Oh, Lord. This has been a fun day.
Yeah.
Didn't start out that way. Didn't
Well,
think it was going to be that way.
I
but it
ended up getting
that way.
all the numbers, but
Which
you
is
shut
those
me
in the
down,
morning.
I like.
You shut me down.
I didn't shut you down. They shut you
me
down.
So
Yeah.
it's
Blame
okay.
them. Blame them.
I'm taking them with me tonight.
Watch out. I don't think that's green enough. You better watch out. Timmy's here.
You just don't even think about it.
I'd pinch you lightly, sure.
Who can hit the softest in here? Can you hit me really soft?
The postal carriers, their uniforms were blue on St. Patrick's Day. They all used to pin dollar bills to their shirt just so they wouldn't get pinched.
I know
It's pretty genius.
Nothing. I'm just not.
Pretty genius.
Well, police pinch people all the time, don't
If
they?
you don't have green today, just pin a dollar bill to your shirt.
Do it 100 and you're going to get pinched. I'll take this $100 bill from you.
I get more than
Pinched,
pinched.
grabbed, whatever.
Okay.
That could be called soliciting.
It could be. You are.
Oh, you didn't put one on.
One of the ladies one night was made to come on to me. She knew who I was. I was escorting somebody else. So she jokingly made the offer, right? You want to know how to make a hooker mad? Ask her if she's got change for $1.
Yeah.
For a quarter.
For a
I asked her if
quarter.
she had change for a quarter. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Hell flew into her in a heartbeat.
I was coming back from Greensboro when I went through Fayetteville and we went down Bragg Boulevard.
Uh-huh.
Well, I got tired and it was an abandoned store and I pulled over, took my pill out, was going to get me a little nap and I forgot to lock the passenger door.
Uh-oh. You had company.
And I woke up and bang, 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 bang. And she opened up the door and got in. She said, and she just threw me this spiel. She said, I know you got money. You tricked out. You got money. I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this for this amount.
I'm gay.
She said, how much you got? I said, $1.50. And I'll let you have 50 cents of it. She got out of the truck a whole lot quicker than she got in.
Mm-hmm.
But I found out that's the way to get rid of them.
There you go.
ain't
It
got
works
but
for me.
$1.50.
All right, we got to go. You're live and local real talk.
Mhm.
We got anybody tomorrow? We
Enjoyed
got.
it.
I know we got Dr. Rose tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
If it's Wednesday, we have Dr. Rose.
Peter.
Do we have Peter tomorrow? We don't have him. We do have him yet.
I do believe so. I've been trying to verify with him, confirm, but
All right.
yeah, I think he does 2 weeks a month.
I don't know. That's be 2 weeks in
And
a
I'll
row.
be-
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you in the morning, y'all. 7:00.
We'll see
Stay
y'all.
tuned. Be nice.
Aww.
Oh God. Bye now.